besties, welcome back to my channel, or hi, my name is Stacy if you're new here. So for today's video, I'm super excited because I actually got sent Colourpop's entire Valentine's Day collection in PR, and I was like really shocked, but I was super excited for this collection anyways. Like I was gonna buy some of the blushes myself. You know I love these heart blushes, and they also came out with heart highlighters. I'm trying to get this up as fast as possible, so yeah, we're just gonna get into it. So I'm gonna be reviewing and trying on every single thing on my face. I'll also have hand swatches as well, like scattered throughout the video, so if you want to see that, then just keep on watching. But before we get into it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, because it really helps on my channel and it would really mean a lot to me. And let's just get right into the video. Okay, so I'm super zoomed in because we're doing the eyes first. I just want you guys to take a look at the outside packaging. It's super cute. It's called Flirty Talk. Kind of looks like a little diary or a little notebook. So the actual palette is the same packaging, and see, it opens up like a little book. So cute. And here are all the shades. So it's all very like reddish pinky, which is kind of to be expected for a Valentine's Day palette. Okay, first off, I'm going to go into the shade called Head Over Heels. I'm just going to place that as a base first. Also, the pan sizes of this palette are like the slightly larger ones. Anyways, this Head Over Heels shade is super light, but it's a really good base color. You can kind of see how it brightened my eye. Okay, next up I want to start deepening it up with this shade called Talk to Me. This is one of those mattes that has sparkle in it, but the sparkle doesn't really show up that much, so it's basically just a matte. Just use that in the outer corner. Okay, then I want to take a tiny bit of your fave. It's the most muted red. I'm just going to put that close to the lash line. I'm going to take some of this metallic shade called Blushin'. And this is more like a pinky red. I'm going to put that on the outer third. It's definitely more sheer, like it's not a super opaque metallic, but that's kind of better in this case because it's such a bright like pinky red shade. I feel like it makes it more wearable that it's more sheer. And I'm just blending the edges out. Next up, I want the main lid shade to be this pink metallic called Cuddle Up. Yes, this is exactly what I wanted. It's like a bubblegum pink. So pretty. Definitely on the cooler tone side, and it's like a little bit frosty, but it's not that white. Okay, yeah, this color is so pretty. It also definitely has those like micro shimmery glitters. Like it has a bit more sparkle to it than the other metallic shade, but you know me, that isn't enough sparkle. So we're gonna add this shade on top called Be Mine. I'll put that right in the center. Okay, I love this shade. Hopefully you guys can see it. And it has like a bunch of micro glitters. So this shade, it is a little bit like chunkier, but it's also kind of creamy, so it does like adhere to the lid pretty well. It's not like those pressed glitters that Colourpop used to do. It's more creamy than that, but it definitely still has like micro glitters. You can even tell from the pan that it has like a little bit more texture to it. But yeah, it's not their pressed glitter, so if you're not a pressed glitter fan, I think you might still like this. Also, because it's kind of creamy, I definitely recommend using your finger to like pat it in. It's kind of the texture where it's like you have to smush the textural flakes down, but then it gives you that beautiful glittery eye look. Okay, I want to add some red because I feel like some people are going to be disappointed if I don't add any red. I'm going to add a little bit of this Little Red Dress shade. This is the most like true red I would say in here. I'm going to do a little bit of like a double wing kind of action. So I'm going to go out like this. Honestly, I'm literally winging it, guys, so bear with me. And I'm doing a little wing like that. That kind of looks good. I'm going to add a little bit more of Little Red Dress out here to this wing. I think like double wings are kind of like trending right now. Or I don't know, I feel like I've seen them on like Douyin and stuff. That definitely made it dramatic, so if you don't want it to be like dramatic, just don't do the wings and you would have like a cute little bubblegum pink moment. But like with the wings, it's making it more Valentine's Day. I kind of like how that came out. Like I wouldn't normally ever do that. I'm gonna add some of this heart emoji shade. This is like the deepest shade in this palette, and it's a little bit more of like a plummy burgundy red, but it's still too like light to be burgundy, so I don't know. But I'm just gonna use this to line the rest of my eye as like a shadow liner. But honestly, this shade looks very similar to the other red, but it's just not as bright as the other red. I just wanted something to add a little bit more definition to the lash line. Okay, I want to take some of this On Your Mind shade. So this is a white matte with like pink shimmer. It's one of those mattes with glitter, so the pink isn't really super noticeable. Anyways, I'm just going to put that right in between where I put the two red lines because it'll help like clean it up and also, I don't know, make it look more dramatic. I'm going to add actually a little bit of the Head Over Heels shade, which is like the lightest pink that we used at the very beginning, just to kind of make it a little bit more pink rather than white. I think I'm gonna also add the white called On Your Mind to this bottom lash line area. So I'm using it as like a matte highlight shade first. You can see that really like highlighted my under eye fat. Then I want to take this shade called Just My Type, and this is actually super shock. Hopefully you guys can see that when I press on it, it makes like little dents. Yeah, this is like a white with a holographic pink shimmer. I'm just gonna add some of that shimmer to this bottom lash line part. Also gonna add it to the inner corner. So you can see here the holographic part. It doesn't look white, it just looks like a really light iridescent pink. It's also more of like a warm tone pink. You see how the other main color is cool? This iridescent pink is more warm. I'm gonna bring that up here as well. For finishing touches, I'm just gonna add some more of this glitter shade called Be Mine. I'm just gonna add that right to the center here. You see how that just made it so much better. So that's pretty much the eye look all done. I'm just gonna go off camera to do my mascara and also this other eye, and I'll be back to show you guys the finished look. Okay, now I'm back with the finished eye look. And you can see it looks super cute, super pink, very Valentine's Day appropriate. So I actually really like how this turned out. Okay, so before we move on, I actually want to try out these face stamps. They're the Cutie Mark face stamps. And these are like more gimmicky products, but they're also really cute. So we have the red heart face stamp. It looks like this. Let me just stamp it on my hand first. So this is what it looks like on my hand. So cute. Okay, I'm just gonna do like a little, oh no. Okay, I did a little heart. Oh my gosh, that's actually adorable. There is a little bit of learning curve because I kind of messed it up a little, but you definitely want to press like with firm pressure or else it's not going to fully fill in the heart. And I'm just gonna let it dry so I can remove the edge of that mark right there. But that's actually really cute. It's giving Marina and the Diamonds. The only thing is it's kind of interesting because it bled on my hand, but it's not bleeding on my cheek. So you don't want to press too hard. You don't want too much ink to come out, but you do want like firm pressure. And then there's another one. This is the pink one. So cute. This is what it looks like in comparison to the red. I'm just gonna put this here. You can see. Okay, I think it would be better to just put one, like this one, you know? Also, I think I did them a little bit asymmetrical, so you can avoid that if you just do one. And I think it looks better with one. You know, it looks more Marina and the Diamonds like. Let me know which heart you guys like best. But it's actually really cute, like, especially for Valentine's Day. I'd be into it. It's definitely like a vibe, like it's obviously not natural, but very cute. Like if you go to any Valentine's themed parties, Galentines, I don't know, I think it's super cute. These are actually surprising when. I really like how it came out. But anyways, now I'm gonna show you swatches of the palette just so you can see it all together. And then we're gonna go into the blush swatches. Okay, so now I'm back with all the cheek products, and there's a lot, but we're gonna put all of these on my face. Okay guys, the way I'm literally obsessed with this packaging. We just take a second to appreciate this beauty. And it's like a soft matte as well. It's like the same matte as last year's, if you're familiar. Okay, let's start off with the shade called Sweetheart. It looks like this in the pan. Is it not the cutest thing ever? So even though it's a very light shade, it's actually quite pigmented, but it's definitely like a pastel blush. I'm just gonna not blend this out super well so you can get a better sense. Okay, so it actually shows up a lot cooler than I expected. I think it looks like a warm baby pink in the pan, but it's actually like a neutral cool baby pink, like the perfect ballerina pink. But I think if you want to like dip into cool tone blushes, but you have like a warmer undertone, you might like this one because it's not so lavender leaning. There's two other blushes that definitely have more of like that blue undertone, whereas this one doesn't have a blue undertone, but it does give that like baby doll cool effect. Super pretty. This would be like an everyday blush for me because it is very light, but it's still very pigmented. Definitely recommend for a lighter skin tone. I think it would show up on medium skin tone maybe as well, but if you're like deeper than a medium, probably not. It's a very like pastel shade. So that's the shade Sweetheart. Okay, next up I want to try this shade. So this is the deepest shade in the collection and it's called Woo Me. This is like a really bright red. It does seem to have a pretty like neutral undertone. It's not a super pinky red, although it does look a little bit pink because once you shear it out it becomes pink. I'd say it's a pretty good neutral red, and it's not too orange either. But yeah, don't apply this much, especially if you're like fair like me. But it would definitely look good on deeper skin. You can still pull it off if you have lighter skin. Just don't apply it that much. It's a relatively buildable formula, like it's not crazy pigmented, but also does have a good amount of color. So I feel like it's the perfect amount of pigmentation. And yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of red. It's not the most flattering on my skin tone, but I think it would look very cute on deep skin. And it probably would end up looking more pink, like kind of like how this shade looks on me on deep skin. It's also more unique, I guess, because there aren't that many red blushes on the market, and it's very cute in this red heart packaging. So yeah, I like it, but it's not my favorite, but let me know what you guys think. Okay, so I just realized that I forgot to swatch the highlighters on top of the blushes. I'm gonna swatch the two warmest highlighters first, since I was gonna pair these with the blushes that I had on just now, but forgot to. I'm gonna start off with this shade called You're Glowing, and it's like this pale yellow gold. I'm just gonna really pack it on so you can see it well. It's actually a pretty good formula. I haven't tried Colourpop's powder highlighter formula. I've only tried their Super Shocks, but I'm actually very impressed. I packed it on a lot, so I'm looking very, you know, beaming. You don't have to add that much. It's just to make it easier to see like the actual shade. But yeah, it looks quite yellow in the pan. It is like a yellow champagne, I would say. But on my cheeks, it actually doesn't look that yellow because it's bright enough and it looks like a real glisten. So I'm actually very impressed. I don't see any like shimmer particles. Like, it's just very glowy. Like, it exceeded my expectations. I was not expecting that much from these highlighters. And if you've been watching me, you know I'm not the biggest like highlighter fan in general. Like, I don't really buy new highlighters that much. I say this is pretty impressive, especially for a more affordable price point. Obviously, it would look better with blush. I would recommend with warm tone blushes because it does have a yellow undertone, but it doesn't look jaundice yellow, especially if you're kind of fair. So I actually really like it. This is You're Glowing. Next up we have this shade called Heart of Gold, and this is such a pretty like peach tone highlighter. It's definitely on the deeper side, as you can see. Definitely meant for deeper skin. So if you have a fair to light skin tone, we'll see if it can work on me. Okay, so actually, so far I'm very impressed. So I built this up quite a bit, and it's not really that dark. Okay, you can see it from the front as well. It definitely is like a peachy tone. You can see the undertone difference. This one's more peachy and this one's like more yellow champagne. It does not have a dark cast, so I thought it was gonna be deep. Like you can see it's like a peach, but this would be such a beautiful blush topper. Would love to add this on top of blush. I feel like it has a slight iridescent shift to it, like very slight. It has like this peachy pink kind of shift. I think it would still look good on deeper skin because you can see how like this one's like more pinky deep toned compared to this one. But yeah, so far I'm actually pretty impressed with these. I actually like this one better than this other one because I'm not a big fan of like the yellow undertone. So this is the shade Heart of Gold. Okay, next I want to try this lavender shade. It looks like this, and I feel like this is gonna be my favorite blush if you know me. And this is the shade Cupid's Bow. Okay, this one's definitely very white based. I would say it definitely has more white in it than the previous Sweetheart shade because they're both like baby bubblegum pinks, but you can see Cupid's Bow is definitely whiter and more purple. This one's definitely like a very K-beauty, Asian beauty kind of vibe. They really like to use really pale shades. So I'm like used to this, but I know like a lot of Western people I feel like are gonna be like, what the heck is this shade? But I actually think it's super pretty. Definitely made for light skin tones. I don't really think it's gonna like show up on deeper skin tones, or it might just look ashy because it does have like a strong white base. But it is quite pigmented. I would say it's more pigmented than the pastel blushes in like K-beauty or Asian beauty. I feel like this is the lightest blush shade that I would go without having to like add another blush because it's still quite blushy, but it definitely has a very like white base to it. I think it's super pretty though. I love it. It's very unique, especially on the Western market. Like I don't think there's any other blush like this on the Western market. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, next up is this beautiful shade called Hot to Touch. And this is a more like bright neon baby doll pink. Definitely a lot brighter and more saturated than the previous baby pinks. So I think this one will be more versatile on more skin tones as well. Yeah, so it's a lot more pigmented because obviously there's less white in the color, but still not like overwhelming crazy pigment. Definitely buildable, but pigmented. But yeah, this is definitely gonna show up well on deeper skin as well. It does kind of have like a pastel vibe to it. Like it's not super neon. I mean, it is quite bright, but it doesn't look as bright as in the pan, you know what I mean? I think this will look like how this looks like on my skin, on deeper skin. Like it's like the equivalent. So I think that's actually really great. I feel like Colourpop did a pretty good job of like having deeper skin equivalents because I can tell that this kind of has like a pastel undertone. It's just like amped up and more saturated than this one. Yeah, this is like the most beautiful baby doll pink. It's definitely giving very Dior pink vibes. And I think I'm gonna love mixing these two, like this as a base and then this as like a pop in the center. I think would look so pretty, which maybe I'll do for like my final look. So let me know what you guys think. This is the shade Hot to Touch. Okay, before I forget, I'm gonna add the highlighters this time. I'm gonna go in with this shade first. This is called In My Feels. It's a beautiful lavender highlight. I'm gonna put that on this side. Okay, yeah, this is definitely like an icy lavender. It has like a blue undertone. Ooh, that's powerful. Yeah, I definitely built it up though, so you can see it better. Definitely not a natural color, but it's very pretty. Like with more icy lavender looks or like cool tone looks. Very ethereal vibes. The highlighters seem to be pretty consistent. It's like a very kind of glossy looking formula. It's not too blinding either, like the kind of stripe highlight. It is looking like quite bright on me right now because I'm building up for multiple layers so you can see the color better. But yeah, you can make it like a more natural highlight or you can build it up. So I do like that it has like a buildable aspect. But yeah, this one's very icy, so I think it might look ashy on deeper skin. I definitely like recommend more for lighter skin tones just because it does have that white blue undertone to it. But let me know what you guys think. This is the shade In My Feels. Next up we have this shade called Love Struck. This is a super pretty like rose quartz kind of shade. It's like a cooler toned pinky shade. If I could only pick one shade from this collection, I feel like I would have picked this one. So you can see like when I'm first applying it, it's not like the most blinding. This is what it looks like if you want it to be more natural. But I'm just gonna apply more so we can get the full effect. So you can see it took me like quite a few layers to get to this like blinding level. But even at the blinding level, it's not like a metallic stripe. So I do really like that. It's a more like icy kind of pink. I think deeper skin could still pull this off. Like I don't feel like it would be too ashy. It does have like that rosy undertone, so I feel like that makes it better. But this would definitely like look cooler on deeper skin. On me, it's more like neutral pink. But I feel like on deeper skin it will pull more silvery. But you can see the difference, how this one's like, it has a blue undertone. So it is quite cool. And then this is like a more pinky neutral tone. Yeah, I definitely think this is my favorite. It's the most wearable to me. I also like that it matches blush pretty well because usually blush is like some kind of pinky tone. This is the shade Love Struck. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, so I'm gonna remove both of these off my face and I'll do the final blush combo and then add the final highlight. Okay, now I'm back with the blush combo all done. So I just did Cupid's bow as a base. You can see how it like brightened my whole cheek area. And then I used Hot to Touch as like the point color in the center. So yeah, I super love this combo. This is like the cool tone blush holy grail combo. Anyways, I have to try on the fifth and final highlighter. This is the shade Makin Memories. So it's more of like a neutral icy champagne. The packaging looks white, but it definitely has like this champagne gold undertone. So here's what it looks like subtly. You can already see that building. But it looks super pretty and natural when you only add a thin layer. Like it just looks like glass skin, I love. So I will say it does look like it has a warm undertone in the pan. Like it definitely has some yellow to it, but on the skin, it's still quite icy. So again, this one definitely is geared towards lighter skin. I feel like if you're deeper than a light skin tone, it's gonna start to look ashy because it is very light. It looks almost silvery on me. So yeah, definitely for like really fair skin. But yeah, that's what Makin Memories looks like. I feel like the highlight toned down my blush a little too much, so I'm gonna add some more. That was the last cheek product. Finally, I can give my cheeks a break. So now I'm just gonna insert a clip of the swatches of all the cheek products so you can see what they look like together. And then we'll move on to the lip products. So here's this year's blushes on top compared to last year's blushes on the bottom. And as you can see, generally speaking, there's no dupes. The most similar shades are the more reddish shades. But overall, this year's are a lot more like lighter pastel and pinker, and also cooler toned. And last year's are a bit more nudie, like have more brown in them or are more saturated. Okay, so now moving on, I want to compare these cool pink blushes to some other blushes I have in my collection. Okay, so I have a massive cool pink blush collection. It's like one of my favorite blush colors, so don't come for me. But these are all the ones that I thought might be similar. So if you want to look at all the colors together and like see which one is which, I'm gonna pause right here, or you can pause the video and just see it with all the labels. Now that you've seen all of them together, I want to go into some individual comparisons. Starting from this point is all Western brands, and these are all K-Beauty actually. I'm going to start with the Western brands. So I think Colourpop actually did a super good job of duping a lot of iconic shades. So these top three are pink blushes from Kylie, and I have to say they're pretty darn similar. This Sweetheart shade by Colourpop looks like a mixture between Kylie Pink Dreams and Pink Power. Pink Power is a little bit peachier, and Pink Dreams is a little bit pinker and deeper. So like I feel like if you mix these two, it would create Sweetheart from Colourpop. Anyways, they're really similar though, so if you have like one or both of these, you don't really need this one. And then I thought Cupid's bow would be really similar to Kylie Winter Kissed, but that's actually not the case. Cupid's bow is definitely lighter and more lavender, whereas Kylie Winter Kissed is a little bit more pink, but it is a very cool pink. So yeah, Cupid's bow is definitely a very pastel shade. Okay, next up we have the iconic Dior pink blush. So I feel like Colourpop actually did a very good job in duping the shade. The only thing is like the formula isn't really comparable because the Dior one is a lot more sheer and translucent, Like I had to build up like 10 layers to get this color, whereas the Colourpop one is definitely more of like a traditional matte pigment. So it's just gonna build up to be more opaque a lot faster. This Colourpop one in the shade Hot to Touch would actually be good for deeper skin tones. It's giving you that more pop of pigment, but it kind of just depends on your preferences. Anyways, then we have the new Too Faced Candy Clouds blush. This was a new blush release as well, and it's very similar to the Dior one, very similar to like these other Colourpop ones. It is a little bit more pastel and whiter than the Dior, but it's still deeper than Colourpop Cupid's Bow, and it's still lighter than Colourpop Hot to Touch. They're all different to me, okay? But anyways, very similar, same color family. So those are the Western brands in comparison. Okay, so now these blush swatches are all K-Beauty. So this is my Dayzik blush palette. It looks like this, that's why there's 4 swatches in one. It's the shade Violet Knit. As you can see, these tones are actually pretty similar to the tones in here, but they're just a lot lighter overall. Like this red is way less pigmented. But overall, I'd say no dupes. Like I thought this purple might be similar to Colourpop Cupid's Bow, but it's actually deeper. And like these pinks aren't quite as lavender, but they are quite similar to Colourpop Sweetheart. And then these 2 blushes are from Romand. This is Romand Odie Milk and Romand Blueberry Chip. So this Romand Odie Milk shade was kind of what I was talking about earlier, where like a lot of K-Beauty or Asian beauty blushes are super, super pale, and they act like as matte highlight or a blush base. So as you can see, Colourpop Cupid's Bow is actually more saturated than Romand Odie Milk. There's more color to it, so I actually prefer the Colourpop one because it's not quite as white as these like Asian beauty ones. Here's Romand Blueberry Chip. I would say it's the most similar to Colourpop Sweetheart. Again, I haven't been able to find a dupe for Colourpop Cupid's Bow, so that's why it's my favorite so far. And then these last 2 are from Peri Para, from their Pink Tourist collection. We have the shades 11 Picnic Pink and 13 Nice Pink. So Picnic Pink is definitely a lot more peachy, and I thought it might be similar to Colourpop Sweetheart, but it's not. It's definitely more of a peach rather than a pink, or it's like a peachy pink. And then yeah, I would say actually one of the most similar is Peri Para Nice Pink. It's more of like a neutral leaning cool type of pink. So this one is actually very similar to Colourpop Sweetheart. So those are the differences within my collection. Okay, first I want to use this Fourth Ray Beauty product. So this is their Cherry Balm Lip Scrub and Lip Balm. Packaging looks like this. It's super cute and like retro looking. So I had some lip gloss on at first, and I just removed it. I'm gonna use this cherry lip scrub. Okay, so I'm definitely feeling the scrubbing. It's like a sugar scrub, and it smells really good. It smells like cherry candy. Anyways, now I'm gonna go wipe this off so we can apply the lip balm. Okay, so I just removed the lip scrub, and actually, I feel like that made my lips like plumper. They just feel like really smooth. Like that looks like a pretty good lip scrub, but I feel like any lip scrub will do the same thing, so it's not like revolutionary, but I do like it. And now we're gonna go in with the cherry lip balm. Okay, so it's very sheer. There's not that much pigment. Actually, I'm not even sure if it's like supposed to have pigment. You can see I'm going over my lips like a lot, and I feel like there's the tiniest tint. But yeah, maybe this is meant to be clear. It didn't really say like how tinted it's supposed to be. It just says cherry lip balm. Okay, I feel like if you have naturally pink lips, you'll like this. But for me, I need my lip products to have some kind of tint. I guess normal lip balms aren't tinted. I'm just used to wearing like tinted lip balms. So yeah, that's what it looks like on my lips. I mean, it does feel nice. Feels hydrating, lightly hydrating. It's not like super amazingly nourishing or anything, but you know, not sticky. Feels like pretty much any other lip balm. So yeah, like I mean, it's a pretty good duo, but honestly I feel like I would only get this like as a gift for like a younger person, like a tween or something, you know what I mean? Now we're gonna move on to the lip swatches of these new glowing lips. So I've actually never tried their glowing lip formula. I'm pretty sure it's like a relatively newer formula. There's 3 new shades, so let's get into them. I'm gonna start off with this shade of the glowing lip called Candy Kisses. Kind of has like a cherry vanilla smell, like some kind of candy smell. Okay, see, this is like a tinted lip balm type of vibe. It's actually a very nice, comfy formula. It's actually cooler than I thought from the packaging. I thought it would be a more like neutral rose shade, but it's actually a little bit more mauve-y. Definitely has a lighter, kind of almost purple undertone to it. It looks really good with this look though, because I have a really cool tone pink blush. So that's Candy Kisses. Okay, next up is this shade called Red Hot. So this is the red of the collection. Ooh, it's definitely a cool red. It has like a plummy undertone. I'm gonna first put it as a gradient because I feel like that's more like how I would wear it, and then I'll do a full lip after. Okay, this is what it looks like more as like a blended gradient lip. And I feel like I would prefer to wear it like this. It definitely goes with this red heart. Like, is that not so cute? Anyways, it definitely looks more like plum fuchsia when I blotted it out, but now I'm just gonna do a full lip and see if it becomes more red or not. It's honestly not super red for something called Red Hot. Okay, yeah, see, I would never wear a color like this just as like a full lip. I feel like it looks just like way too much on my face. And also, like, you can see how it totally washed me out. Like, I need so much more blush. It is kind of cute for like a vampy kind of look. But yeah, it is quite deep, and I feel like it looks pretty different from packaging. It definitely has like a fuchsia color to it. But yeah, that's what it looks like as the full lip. Now onto the last shade. Okay, this is the last shade I have, called Tickled Pink. It definitely looks like a very cool toned, almost lavendery color. So I'm curious to see what it will look like. Okay, yeah, this is very white based. I don't think many people will like this shade. I think if you're like super fair, maybe. Or I guess like some people would like to pair it with a deeper lip liner. But by itself, it looks like, you know, that Nicki Minaj lip definitely matches my blush, so that I do like. But the color itself, oh my gosh, it's so pale. Very, very pale. And I'm already like a pretty pale person. I'm gonna try to add the Red Hot shade as a gradient, just because I don't want to remove it. Actually looks kind of cute. Okay, wait, I think I did something. Oh yeah, that looks so much better. It still looks very like purple based though. Should I just add some of this color Candy Kisses on top? I'm just gonna add some of that here. Okay, it's still very cool tone, but I feel like it kind of looks good with the blush and the eyes. So I'm just gonna leave it. I don't think I would wear this Tickled Pink shade that much. It was very like Nicki Minaj lips. Concealer lips, but make it purple. Okay, here are the 3 lips swatched together. It definitely is gonna depend on what your skin tone is underneath it, just because they are like a sheer formula, except for the bottom one because it's so like pigmented. But yeah, the middle 2, I feel like it's gonna depend on your natural skin tone. So I definitely recommend Candy Kisses the best. It's just like your everyday natural like MLBB kind of mauve-y nude. It's definitely on the cooler tone side. Actually, all 3 of these are cool toned, but even Candy Kisses definitely has like a mauve undertone. So those are the 3 shades swatched together. My favorite was definitely Candy Kisses. Let me know which color you guys like the best. Okay, let me wrap up my final thoughts with you guys. Also, I changed the base lip to be Candy Kisses, the more neutral one, and then a little bit of Red Hot in the center. To wrap up my final thoughts, what I think is worth it and what's not. So the first thing is the palette. I think it's actually a really pretty palette. It's perfect for Valentine's Day, obviously. I really like how my eye look came out today. I feel like it has a good array of textures. You have mattes, shimmers, and like a glitter. The only thing I would say is like it's clearly very limited. You can only get pink and red looks out of this, so I'm definitely never going to consider it like my favorite palette. I would just recommend this if you like pink and red. Definitely red is like a harder color to pull off. I used more of the pink colors today, but I did use like some red accents. But I feel like for me, pink is much more wearable than red, so that's kind of up to you to decide if you like these colors. If you really like red eyeshadow, I think it's a great palette, especially for Valentine's Day. It's super cute. Also, I would say the reds appear more different on the skin than in the pan because they have different levels of sheerness and different undertones. So yeah, the only caveat is just like it doesn't have that much variety in the tones. So yeah, only get this if you like pink and red, basically. And then for these face stamps, I actually really like them, surprisingly. Like, I would have never bought this because I'm not super into gimmicky things, but like I really like how my eye look came out. And obviously it's like a more holiday festive kind of thing. So if you're like super into Valentine's Day for some reason, or if you love hearts, I feel like this is a good buy, but it clearly is like for a very specific consumer. So obviously if you don't fall into that category, then don't buy it. I surprisingly really like the darker one because it just looks like Marina and the Diamonds, and she was such a vibe for me in middle school, so I don't know, I just like really like it. Like How to Be a Heartbreaker, that was my jam when I was 12. And I actually surprisingly like the red one better than the pink one, just because the red one you can see better and it kind of looks more like a beauty mark, whereas the pink one it kind of like fades into my blush and everything. And especially if you have a deeper skin tone, I'm not even sure if like the pink one would show up that well on you because it's like not showing that much on me. And you can definitely use them together as well. Like you can make like little patterns. So I do think it's really cute. If you're into this kind of stuff, then I think it's worth, but otherwise don't waste your money on it. Okay, now onto the best part, which is the blushes. So this is like, if you could only buy one thing out of this collection, clearly it's the heart blushes, okay? And honestly, I like a lot of these colors more than last year's, but that's just because like they definitely put out those cool tone blushes. And they also put out quite pastel blushes, which are a favorite of mine, but I can see why some people might not like that. It also does make them less versatile. But yeah, I feel like maybe they should have come out with one more deeper shade because there's only one deep shade in this collection. But besides that, these blushes are stunning. My favorite, if I can only pick one, would be this one. Obviously, it's the shade Cupid's Bow, lavender lilac pastel shade. This isn't going to be everyone's cup of tea. Even if it's not a good blush on your skin, it can actually act as a matte highlight. So that's like another big Asian beauty trend where like they use super pale blushes and they apply it on the cheeks, but it looks basically white once it's on the cheeks. And because it's like such a bright shade, it literally brightens that area and just makes it look fuller and more youthful. So you could use it as a matte highlight too if you think it's too light for you. But yeah, if you're into a super pastel blush or like a matte highlight look, I think you'll really like this. And it's also super unique. There's no other blush like this on the Western market. And this one would be my second pick, which is Hot to Touch. It's basically that iconic Dior pink shade. I think this is a great dupe, especially because it's like way cheaper and in this adorable heart packaging. Like it's so perfect for Valentine's Day. If you're into cool pink blush, I think you'll love this. Also, it's way more versatile than this one because it is more vibrant and saturated. So it'll definitely show up on way more skin tones. I think this also might look a little bit pastel on deeper skin, but at least it won't look like white like this one. So yeah, I love how this is like the equivalent of this, but in a deeper version, and I love the combination on my skin today. Out of the highlighters, I was actually pretty surprised at how nice the formula was because I had never tried a Colourpop powder highlighter before. But yeah, it's like the perfect like buildable glowy highlight. Also, I didn't notice any like shimmer particles, but I also haven't tested this in like different lightings. Are these like jaw-dropping highlighters? No. I'm also not the biggest fan of highlighter in general, so again, I'm a hater because I just feel like most highlighters kind of look the same. So if you already have a few colors, like you don't really need more. But I would say my favorite one is this Love Struck one. It's like the rose quartz color. It's just like a beautiful pinky glow, but it's not too pink. It's kind of like a natural pink and it meshes pretty well with your blush color. So I really like this one, but just pick one that's good based off of your skin tone and your preferences. Like they're all the same formula, so you can't really go wrong with that. But I was surprised with how much I like the highlighters. Onto lips, I would say this cherry lip scrub duo balm thing is a pass. That's just because it's like super basic. Nothing's really standing out to me, you know? And it does give me kind of like tween vibes. It's like not the most nourishing lip balm. It's not like it's bad, but it's just not amazing in any aspect. The glowing lips, so this is my first time trying this formula and I actually quite like it because like it's like a tinted lip balm that's quite pigmented, but it's still on the buildable side, like it's not fully opaque. I like that it's almost like a stiffer formula and I feel like it kind of blurs over my lip lines a bit, so I do really like the formula. As for the shades, I feel like they're all a little bit like strange. The best one is Candy Kisses, but it still is like surprisingly mauvey cool toned. So I think especially if you're like warm tone, I don't think you're gonna like this. It already is like pulling like almost too cool on me, at least for my lips, because it is like a lighter nude shade. Out of all of these, I would just get this one, Candy Kisses. That's only if you like mauvey lips. Yeah, Tickled Pink was like definitely for a certain consumer. I feel like certain people like that kind of like really light concealer lip look. That's not for me personally, not my personal journey. And then Red Hot also is not for me personally. As I said, I'm a hater of red. Also, it's not like a true red, so I feel like red lovers might also not like this because it's more like a fuchsia plum shade. It is kind of vampy though, like it's a lot deeper than I expected. It's both deep and bright at the same time. But yeah, like I mean, if you like those kind of colors, you'll like this, but not my fave. Oh yeah, and lastly, they also have this keychain, I think, that's for sale. It says Talk Flirty to me, so it's very cute. I don't think I would personally buy this, but if you like this design, I think it's cute. So that's about it for my video today. I hope you guys enjoyed and found it helpful. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and comment and subscribe down below if you want to see more content like this, because it really helps on my channel and it would really mean a lot to me. Also, let me know if you're gonna pick up anything from this collection. I'm really curious, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.